Talk me through live painting, because I'm not sure I really get it. Talk me through.
Okay, so I definitely focus on like DJ events, but I've also done rock and roll events and stuff. And when a band's performing or a DJ's playing the records or music, I'll have a canvas and I'll put it up on a wall and I'll set up black lights and I'll paint with fluorescent paints and I'll paint something really, really, really mind-blowing, usually kind of sexy. And it's a great performance. I'm dancing around. And the thing is when I come up with a concept, an idea for the painting, it changes dramatically because like when you're up there's a lot of energy from the crowd. You've got there could be anywhere from 50 people to like 5,000 people behind you dancing and enjoying like the night, and the music's so loud, they're so powerful, and you get into like the whole groove, you're in the muse, right? And you're putting paint in places and you're making these images and stuff, and you start off with one idea, but because like there's so much energy and creativity in the air, the paint is completely different by the time you finish. And then when you finish, you're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And this is actually one of my paintings that I made at a nightclub.
No joke.
Was it this like 3 years ago or something
No
that
joke.
I made into a t-shirt? Yeah.
Really?
But this one was like a small one. I did this one in Tokyo. So and then the crazy thing is like I use black lights, right? So everything's glowing. It's like and like you see a lot of like live painters here in Tokyo and other places in the world, they use white lights, right? Like tungsten lights. When you go to a nightclub, you wanna be kind of like incognito. You don't want people to see you, So you want to dance and have a lot of fun, You don't want people like filming you and like putting you on the internet and stuff, right? So the thing is I use black lights, so like everybody's like, I mean even myself, you can't really make out my face. And if you take a picture, like cameras don't really pick up black lights and people and stuff so well, so everybody's all purple and stuff. The photos, they turn out pretty nice, but of the artwork, but of people, not really. So it's like the perfect medium, and I've been doing it since the first time I painted was in 2011, right after yes, it was 2011, like the weekend of the big earthquake that happened here.
No joke.
I painted at Club Woom, right? My friend, he booked.
Woom?
Yeah, this is a crazy story. It's my first time painting at a nightclub, painting live, right? And I was practicing and I was getting all ready and stuff, whatever. And the earthquake happened, the big earthquake in 2011, which is devastating, right? And all of a sudden, like afterwards, the next day, I called my friend. I was like, oh my God, is the event still happening? The event was on Sunday and the earthquake was on Friday afternoon. My friend's like, oh my gosh, all the DJs from overseas canceled, but the club says we have to do the show. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm super down. So I show up at the club, there's nobody there, right? I show up like an hour before, like half the staff didn't show up, half the DJs didn't show up. So it's like the organizer, me, and I think like 5 or 6 other people. And so there's 3 floors of DJs, but we only focus on the one floor, right? The other floors are just open, but there's nobody there. There weren't even bartenders there, right? And so pretty much like they played music the whole time, and I painted the whole time, and there was nobody there. Nobody. So we just enjoyed the beverages, we painted, and we had a lot of fun, to be honest. But I mean, that was my first time painting. So, the first time you do anything like stand up or the first time you do pro wrestling, you're so nervous and stuff. I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, nobody's here. If I mess up, it's okay. This is great.
It's like painting in private. Happy days.
This is like my bedroom.
Wow. So, okay. So... Mm-hmm. So while you're painting, it's not like it's, okay, your time starts now and your time ends now. It's just the painting happens over the course of the evening. I guess you can go away and go to the bathroom and whatnot, do what you got to do, chat with people.
Oh, yeah, of course,
Right, and then by the end of the night, hopefully you'll have a finished image, yeah?
Yeah, always. And I'm the first one, like, I show up early... And then I'm the last one to leave.
Really?
Because the thing is, I want everybody to enjoy the painting when it's finished, not just the process of the painting. So when the painting's finished, after that, then I just hang out and I meet people and I socialize, I dance, I hang out with the DJs in a VIP room or something. So, it's cool. It's a lot of fun. And, so, I mean, if anybody out there, you want to book me, I travel.
Does the audience ever want to get involved in the painting? Take your brushes and start getting involved?
Yeah, not in Japan. They don't do it in Japan, but in Europe, some countries, they're like, no, we paid tickets. We're here, so we're supposed to paint too. I'm like, no. So, and I used to have an issue with that in some places. So when I do set up, I talk to the staff and the security. I'm like, listen, I need some kind of like a barrier, right? So then they put like a barrier or something like that. Or if I'm lucky, I'm on a stage or something, so I'm elevated. So, yeah. But I never had any real issues. And then most people, they pretty much understand. Even like the super drunk ones. Like, really? Can I paint a little bit? And I'm like,
Yeah, live painting. So, okay, so now where, which countries have you live painted in?
So, okay, Japan, all over Japan. Let's see. I've painted in, of course, the United States. Yeah. And then when it comes to Europe, I've painted in Germany, France, Holland, Greece.
Greece?
Yeah, Athens. But I've painted in all these places, multiple places. Actually, when I painted in Greece, it was when the economy fell apart and they had all the anarchists fighting, like the cops or whatever. I was in this club that was in this basement, right? This huge nightclub that was in a basement. And when we went to the club was like, it was like normal. We showed up at the place, whatever, said hi to everybody, went downstairs, the music was going, I set up, I was painting, whatever. It was an amazing event, a lot of fun. And then when we left the event in the Chicago morning, I came outside, I saw the sun, and I smelled like this nasty smell. It's, what's the smell, whatever. And it was like tires that were on fire because as we're in this basement and we're like DJing and having a good time or whatever, up above us there's like huge protests where like all these people are protesting with the police officers and stuff, and everybody in the club had no idea because you couldn't leave and come back or whatever. So we exited, we're like, oh my god, I'm covered with paint and stuff. Dude, every time I've been to Europe to paint, I've got a million stories. I've almost died like 10 times. Like almost fell off a building once. It was crazy. But live painting is an exciting job. I highly recommend it to any daredevil out there.
Who would have thought that painting could be a high-risk vocation?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, a lot of times, like when you go overseas and stuff, as you know, you're like the famous guy, right? So when you're the famous guy, a lot of people try to impress you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You get in somebody's car, their Porsche, and they both go on the Autobahn, and they're like, Johnny, is your safety belt fastened? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you don't need it. And then all of a sudden they go like 300 kilometers an hour. And you're like,
wow. No
like,
joke.
Yeah, it happened. I'm like, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Wow.
I can't breathe. Yeah, because, doesn't that happen to you? Don't like like the organizers and people want to impress you and...
I don't think quite like that.
No,
I think they say, let's take you out for a pleasant dinner. That's normally how they try to impress.
I get that too. A lot of times they take me out for Japanese food. I'm like, no, I don't want to eat Japanese food.
There's plenty of that at home. Wow. So, when you're live painting, culturally, for these different places you painted at, how do the different cultures... How working for different audiences as a performer for different cultures, it's always like one of the things I've learned from doing this is a bearded white man in a skirt means something different in each culture. So for you, when you're painting, how do you find that you as an artist and your work interacts with the various cultures?
You know what, pretty much like when I do live painting, my style is just like, I've been doing the same style for so long, right? Well, actually now the style is very different, but it's just like the concept. It's usually like really like sexy girls with records or DJs and music and very sexy oriented, right? So that's what I'm known for. And anyway, so I do that. So anybody that looks at the flyer, looks at like the event page, and they check me out and stuff, they know what to expect. And every audience is very respectful, very great. Every club that I've worked with overseas has been absolutely fantastic. I don't have any bad stories or anything like that to tell. I mean, crazy stories, yeah, but, which are kind of fun, to be honest. But, nothing really bad. The only time, okay, all right. The only time I had one kind of a weird thing happen was actually in Japan. And I was painting at this club that opened up right before the pandemic and then closed because of the pandemic. And it was this club that was in this deep basement of Shibuya, right? And it was like a huge club for a minute, and it was really, really popular. And I was painting at this one guy's event, and I was painting this really sexy girl, and she had a skirt that she was kind of lifting it up, and it was like, kind of sexy, right? Okay. And so I had that, and I painted it, and this is kind of like in the kind of like a side room where the music isn't that loud, so you can talk to people. There's like food there and stuff, whatever. And then I finished the painting, and then I went back to like where the food was, because one of my friends was a vendor. So I'm there, I'm hanging out, having a drink and stuff, and these two people from an English-speaking country come up. It's like a couple, a man and a woman. And the woman goes by, she goes, "Oh my God, would you look at this? This is despicable. This is terrible. This is absolutely horrible. Of course, in Japan, they have stuff like this. This is pornography, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Japan, blah, 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 blah." She's saying like all this stuff, you know, and I'm like thinking like, oh my God, little does she know I'm the one that painted it, right? And then this is the best thing. She's like storms off, but her boyfriend stuck around, was looking at it. He pulled on his phone and took a photo of it.
Awesome.
And I was just like, yes, yes,
You're like, yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I still got the painting. It's over there under my bed.
No joke, really?
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
Awesome.